care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, a baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Un soldato a casa regresó y un niño enfermo se curó. No atrapa en bosque de la lluvia. Un desamparado se salvó por causa de una buena acción y un área y puro. Aleluya, aleluya, aleluya,
I lift my voice to God above, who only shines eternal love. And life was hard before I really knew ya. You hear me cry out in the night. You turn my darkness into light, till every breath becomes a hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
You know our world is in great pain. She needs our loving care again. But there are those who fail to see what we have done and what we need.
There is a cost for every act, and now there is no turning back. We burn a bridge, we bang a drum. It's time to rise, the time has come to stand for love,
to stand for peace, to stand for joy and for release,
for
what is beautiful and true, to stand for hope, to stand for you. If you're thinking it's not urgent, that we've got more time to kill, if I'm not the one who'll change things, then for heaven's sake, who will? So I will move and I will climb that mountain one step at a time. And I won't be swayed, I will not stop until we've made it to the top, where we will stand for love and peace. We'll stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. We'll stand for hope, we'll stand for you. What is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
Come to the temple, bathe in the presence of love. Let go of the warring, lay down your sword. You've had enough. For I know you're weary, the battle has taken its toll. Illusion is shattering, the veil is rent. You're so come to the fire and lay down the shame of the past. The place purifying, revealing your golden land. unlocking your shackles and chains. No longer a prisoner, you are now free and reclaimed. You're reclaimed. Surrender to my love. Trust that you're enough. Allow yourself to breathe and remember, 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 oh, remember, remember, remember who you are. So come to the mystery and give up the stories you know. The path now collapsing, leading us all back to one. No longer divided, fractals united in peace. And it's time to play now like children of love's destiny. Destiny. Surrender to my love. Trust that you're enough. Allow yourself to breathe and remember, 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 oh, remember, remember, remember who you are, who you are. You are the light of the world. You are the joy of the earth. You are the love of your life. So remember, so remember, so remember. Remember, 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 oh, remember, 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 oh, remember, remember, remember who you are, who you are.
supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Hello and welcome to the People of Diversity Sunday service. We are a multi-faith community and we believe there are many paths to one divinity. If you would like to learn more about the pod or help support us financially, go to www.podpeopleofdiversity.org. That's a new URL for us. It's podpeopleofdiversity.org. And there'll be more announcements after the message, so stay tuned.
Our topic at present is hope. Last week we heard for the very first time Reverend Dr. Leslie Rust, and his musical guest was the Joy Band. Today we'll hear from Sensei Dave Vidito with music from Victor Morgado. Next week we will hear from our Muslim representative Nuran Sykes and Brother Neil McNaughton, also from the Great White North. So without further ado, let's dive right in and we'll see you on the other side.
Hello, my name is Victor Morgado. I'm a singer-songwriter out of Canada. I live in a small town called Beansville in the province of Ontario. Beansville is in the region known as Niagara, and that sounds like Niagara Falls, and you're right, Niagara Falls is about 30 minutes from where I live, the world-famous Niagara Falls. This week's theme is hope, and the first song I've chosen is Electric Light Orchestra's Mr. Blue Sky. Electric Light Orchestra is also known as ELO. The song was written by Jeff Lynne and appeared on their album called Out of the Blue in 1977. Many people think that Mr. Blue Sky is one of ELO's best songs or their signature song. And I have many other ELO favorites, but this is definitely right up there. It's a rapid tempo song. I believe it's around 180 beats per minute. It's in the key of F. And I did see somewhere that a study that many consider this to be the happiest song ever written. Not sure how they determined that. It talks about coming out of a rainy period, and the sun is shining in the sky, and everyone's happy. So essentially the message is a very simple, straightforward message, is that, you know, when things are down, when the rain's coming down, eventually the sun will start shining and everybody will celebrate and be happy. So there's always hope for better times, even when things are tough. So this song, I believe, exemplifies hope in a wonderful manner. I hope you enjoy my cover of it. Thank you.
Sun is shining in the sky, rain a cloud inside. Stop raining, everybody's in a play. Oh, don't you know, it's a beautiful day. Hey, rock down the avenue, see how the sun shines bright. In the city, all the streets were once what city Mr. Blue Sky is living here today. Hey, Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why had to hide away for so long. So where we go wrong? Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why had to hide away for so long. So where we go wrong? Hey, you with the pretty face, the blue sky to tell us why had to hide away for so long. So long, where do we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue, we're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you. Mr. Blue, you did it right. Soon come Mr. Knight. Reaching over and I was hanging on your shoulder. Never mind, I'll remember you. I'll remember you this way. Little sky, tell us why you had to hide away for so long. So long, where we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue, we're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you.
My second song this week for the theme of hope for People of Diversity podcast is a song recorded by Israel Kamakawiole. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it exactly, but many people know him as Issy. He was a Hawaiian singer. It was originally recorded, I believe the first was a demo version in 1988, and then it was recorded again in 1989. It was put on a limited release album, as I believe, around 1990, and then re-released to a wider audience in 1993. It's a medley of two songs, Somewhere Over the Rainbow and What a Wonderful World. And it was, it did chart a bit, but it became a big sleeper hit in the early 2000s. It's been featured in many films and it went viral on the internet, on YouTube. It's a combination of those two songs, as I mentioned. And the first song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, made its debut famously in Wizard of Oz. And it's a song about hope, that there's better times and brighter times ahead. Dorothy, Judy Garland sang this. And it's talk about looking to the future for better times. And Issy famously combined it with What a Wonderful World. And again, that's another song about hope and how beautiful the world is, and how our outlook on the world shapes its beauty, in a sense. That if we see things in a certain way, then it's reflected in our perception. So yeah, this song talks about the beauty in the world and hope and the color and friends loving friends. And I believe it's a perfect song for this week's theme of hope. I hope you enjoy my cover of it. Thank you.
clouds are far behind me, with trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I see trees of green, red roses too. I'll watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the brightness of day. Oh, I like the dark, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow are pretty in the sky, are also on the faces. People passing by, to see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. Oh, we're much more than we'll know. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, with trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dare to, why, oh, why can't I?
Good afternoon. My name is Dave Vitito. I'm one of the senseis or teachers down at Open Mind Zen. Here today to talk about hope, and I'm glad you could all be here today. For today, I wanted to pull from a few different teachers, and I found some great things, great articles, and where various teachers were talking about the idea of hope. And so I wanted to pull some of that in here today along with my own thoughts. And so just to give credit, Aya Yeshe, Oren J. Sofer, and then finally Joan Halifax. And Joan Halifax I'll actually quote a couple times because I really like what she has to say. And of these, I've met Joan Halifax, or Roshi Joan Halifax, I should say. The other two I haven't met, but some very rich material here I wanted to bring today. So I'll start and I'll end with Joan Halifax, because again, I really like how she approached this one. And when she wrote this article, it was back during the pandemic. And so during the pandemic, we were, if you think back, we were having all kinds of problems. People were dying, people were denying the realities of science, which led to more people dying, and of course we all had our own hardships just trying to isolate or mask up or deal with the challenges there. So this first section here was written in that context. And it still applies today, because for me it's that feeling, right, of I really want this to change. I really want this to be better. Really came up for me during this last election cycle. And not to turn this political, but I was highly disappointed with the way things came about. And so when I read these words about the pandemic and the notion of hope, in my mind, I transpose that to today and where we are with the craziness of this election cycle. So I'll read this, but keep that in mind, today's reality. So again, this is from Joan Halifax. Hope always bothered me. Hope just didn't seem like a very Buddhist concept. And for many today, being hopeful seems worse than futile, as we find ourselves in the midst of a global pandemic, where thousands are dying, world economies are crashing, the medical system is facing unprecedented challenges. Clinicians are confronted with moral dilemmas that are heartbreaking, and the climate catastrophe continues to unfold. But last year, oddly enough, I began to feel hopeful and decided I wanted to look at hope more closely. I began my exploration with looking at what hope is not. It became clear to me that hope is not the belief that everything will turn out well, because people die, populations die out, civilizations die out, planets die, stars die. Recalling the words of Suzuki Roshi, life is like stepping onto a boat which is about to set sail out to sea and sink. So the boat is going to sink. If we look, we see the evidence of suffering, of injustice, of futility, of desolation, of harm all around us, and even within us. This virus, for example, or this election today, is a strong case in point. But we have to understand that hope is not a story based on optimism, that everything will be okay. Optimists imagine that everything will turn out positively. I've come to consider this point of view dangerous. Being an optimist means one doesn't have to bother. One doesn't have to act. And also, if things don't turn out well for the optimist, cynicism or futility often follow. And so there's a lot there that's really meaty. And again, thinking in terms of the election, I know so many people that came into this election hopeful. And as for me, I saw the polls over the month leading up to it really trending in the wrong direction. So for me, that month leading up to the election was almost a grieving process, because I could see what was coming. But many people were, I don't know, either ignoring that or not looking at that, and were hopeful, only to have it dashed. And that is perhaps the risk of hope, right? A unhealthy hope, or a hope that isn't buoyed by wisdom or right view or a healthy practice, is really just wishful thinking, right? Or hope can be a form of denial what's going on and wishing, right? Wishing that something will be better or something will happen. And when it doesn't, it's like you've set yourself up. Legs are cut out from under you and you dash. So you have to be careful with hope. You can set yourself up for so much suffering. And I saw this a lot in the context of the election. At its core, hope is a very dualistic concept. And in Buddhism, it's often tied to desire and craving. And the 8 worldly dharmas are hope and fear, fame and infamy, praise and blame, gain and loss. All different ways of mentally grasping at the world, wanting the world to be other than it is. It's a form of delusion, if you will. But what if we look at hope a little differently? Because like most things we experience, there are more than one way to approach things, more than one way to experience things. What if instead of looking at hope as something that comes from desire or craving or withdrawal from reality, can we reframe this? Can we reframe hope as a form of resilience? A type of long-term commitment to your practice, whatever that may be. Hope, reframing it as a desire for social justice. Even that word desire is kind of a dangerous word, right? Reframe hope in terms of compassion or equanimity. Can we use hope as a way of planting the seeds of joy and happiness in ourselves? And I think to do that, it really takes a certain maturity in the practice. Really spending time looking at what's going on, so that when I'm hopeful, what is that perspective that I'm bringing? Am I grasping on, wanting something to be different? Am I hopeful because I'm passive and I'm not going to do anything and I'm just going to wish it better? Or am I hopeful in the sense of I'm setting an intention? I'm embarking upon a path. Not as a blind optimism, but a joy where that we together can follow this path wherever it may take us. And then wherever it takes us, we are here together. And in that practice is joy. In that practice is contentment. In this practice is connection. So how can we change hope from a passive, almost given up perspective to something where you're leaning forward into life, right? Active intention. How do we move toward active intention? And so you really have to examine what's going on when you have these emotions, and you really have to work with this idea of craving. And so this ordinary hope, the hope that most people, when people say hope, what they're really saying is want, very often. And it's a type of craving, right? This is that ordinary hope. And when that wish for outcome is realized, we're crushed. So how can, instead of this ordinary hope, change it as more of a channel for our practice in the Dharma, our practice in our spirituality? Not so much a longing for hope and harmony and equanimity, but more skillfully working with the practice, growing in these qualities, and even when the difficulties of life come, that we see them in the context of this larger practice. That if we're angry, right, we are angry Buddha. If we're sad Buddha. And that is our practice. And hope shifts from wanting the world to be different than it is to more of a faith of the practice. A faith that we are here in this together, that there is joy, there is happiness in the world, but that often I get so caught up in my own story, my own desires, my own need for things to be just right, a certain way, that I completely miss the beauty that's all around me. I'm so caught up in the story, the drama, Actually, our head teacher here, Roshi Al Rappaport, was reminding us of the story of the arrows. And the idea is that life, when something bad happens, it's like being shot with an arrow. How often do we then, instead of seeing the arrow, working with it, and then working with it in a healthy way, how often do we shoot ourselves again? It's like we keep shooting ourselves with the arrow over and over and over, that second and third arrow. We bring our own misery to whatever situation's happening instead of just skillfully, with love and kindness for ourselves and others, work with what's going on. Be that angry Buddha. But don't be the angry Buddha that then turns into the person that's just sulking and holding on and grudges, right? That's those second and third and fourth arrow. Anger comes and it goes. Joy comes and it goes. And this is life. This is life. So, can we use hope as a type of practice? And I do think that this takes quite a bit of practice from a mindfulness perspective, really settling into the practice so that we can use this as a use this in a positive way. So practice is a guide. What is practice? Buddhist practice or other spiritual practice? How does it help us? And so a couple. Practice allows us to take refuge. Instead of being co-opted by craving, aspirations, how do we change this to intentions, right? Intentions to move forward, intentions for practice, intentions to bring, to alleviate suffering around the world. How do we avoid getting trapped by that craving, that desire? And taking refuge is one. And in Buddhism, it's taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And there's a whole other talk in what it means to take refuge in there. But just take refuge in the Sangha, right? The Sangha, right? The people, the community that we practice with, taking refuge in all of the people that are like you, that care about you, that practice with you, or depending upon your religion, right? Pray with you, worship with you. There's a certain security. There's a certain warmth that comes in being in that sort of community. So we can take refuge in this. Practice is a guide, right? Practicing wisdom. It takes wisdom to meet life and to respond to challenges without betting on fantasy, burning out, or sinking into despair. The wisdom of equanimity understands that we choose neither the circumstances of our life nor the results of our actions. Both are beyond our control. What we can choose is how we relate, how we respond. And so Buddhism really is a practice of action, which is interesting considering how much time us Zenis spend sitting on the cushion. What you learn sitting on the cushion is get off the cushion and do something, right? But how do you do it with wisdom? How do you do it with compassion? What is right action? And this is something else that practice guides us in, right? It gives us that right view. It helps us, this right view is this understanding that our actions have an impact, right? This is karma, right? As we act, there is a response, either in myself, this could be internally, could be the people around me. And so how do I act in the world in a way that takes this into account? What is right view, right action, wisdom, taking refuge? How do I pull those all together so that I can use practice as a guide for life, so that I'm not caught up in craving, caught up in desire? And all of these kind of come together, all these factors come together to what you might call a realistic or a more practical hope, right? Hope born of wisdom. Hope born of that security of refuge. Hope born of right view. Hope born of the understanding that we are all interconnected, that we all want to be happy. It's just most of us struggle to be because we're caught. We're caught. So this practical foundation, or this practical hope, is the foundation of our path, right? We're guided by wisdom. We're guided by compassion. And I think Aya Yeshi kind of said this. For someone deeply involved in meditation and concentrative states who has gone far on the path of the Dharma, hope probably is not that important. And that kind of resonated with me. I think back to early in my practice when I was still figuring this out. By this I mean the practice and the David, myself. And I was struggling with various things that were going on in my life. And because of that, I was really striving for change, which is another form of desiring or craving change. And that craving, that desire, that striving led me to this sort of practice, which ironically led me to a practice which wants you to let go of those things. And the more you practice, the more you settle in, the more you're able to take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, the more you recognize that we are all interconnected. And not realizing it here, feeling it. The more that happens, it's less about hope, because again, hope can often be passive. It's more about, what are my intentions? Right? What is my intention? When I sit with the intention of realizing enlightenment, realizing that I am Buddha, and I sit. Right? When I walk, I walk. When I eat, I eat. When I watch the election results, what now? What is practice? Or the next pandemic, what is practice? What is right view? What is compassion? And I think with enough practice, there's hope. Hope is not something that arises as much. But it can. It can. And like for me, for example, in the election, I needed that month of grieving, so to speak, kind of leading up to this moment to where I could now put myself in the position where I can ask, what now? You can't solve all the problems. But with right view, compassion, what now? Often in Zen, you'll see written on the wall, this is it. This is it. Or if you like, what now? Here you are. Here you are. What now? So, I'll end with Joan Halifax again. And again, this is a continuation of that article that I started with. So, as Buddhists, we share a common aspiration to awaken to our own confusion, awaken from greed and from anger, in order to free others from suffering. For many of us, this aspiration is not a small self-improvement program, right? We're not trying to improve the ego. It's bigger than that bigger sense of self, that holy self, right? Buddha nature. Right? So for many of us, this aspiration is not a small self-improvement. The Bodhisattva vows at the heart of the Mahayana tradition, which Zen is a part of, is not, if nothing else, is a powerful expression of radical and wise hope, and hope against all odds. This kind of hope is free of desire. This hope is free from any attachment to outcomes. It is a species of hope that is victorious over fear. What else could be the case as we chant, and this is the chant of the Bodhisattva, right? Creations are numberless, I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transform them. Reality is boundless, and I vow to perceive it. The awakened way is unsurpassable, and I vow to embody it. And perhaps that chant right there, that's the vow of the Bodhisattva. Perhaps that represents Buddhist hope more than anything else, because as a Bodhisattva, one who has achieved some level of awakening, now vows to help all other beings alleviate suffering, and to achieve that awakening themselves. And these beings are endless. These delusions are inexhaustible. Reality is boundless. And so it's this impossible task. And yet with joy, we do that next step, using right action, compassion, equanimity, our practice. We take step after step after step. Not hope as in wishing for things to get better, but hope leaning forward into life, taking that next step, wherever that may take us. So hopefully that made some sense. If not, I'm always here. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions or would like to discuss. But let's go ahead and start with this short meditation exercise. And instead of sitting with hope, let's sit with more intention. What are your intentions? So go ahead and just kind of sit in the chair. If you're in the chair, just try to settle. Feel your feet on the floor. Right? Feel your legs against the chair with a cushion. And just begin by taking some deep breaths. In, out, in, and out, and just repeat that. And as best you can, try to feel, to hear, taste the air as it goes through your body. Feel your body move against your clothing. Just experience all things that mean breathing. And maybe smile to yourself, having taken the time today for a little self-care. And let's just start with loving kindness. Just start by being kind to yourself. See if you can feel love and kindness for yourself as you sit here, breathing and practicing. May I be happy, may I be well. May I be happy, may I be well. And maybe expand that a bit beyond yourself. Include anyone that might be in the room. Or if you like, if there's no one there, maybe extend to your family. Kind of hold them in your heart. May they be happy, may they be well. If you like, just imagine loving kindness coming from your heart center through you, radiating outwards toward them. And then on your own, just slowly expand to the town, to the country, and eventually hold the whole world in your awareness. May they be happy, may they be well. Holding them in kindness and compassion. Sit with the intention of compassion. I am compassion. Sit with the intention of exuding loving kindness. I am loving kindness. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, fully intending to embrace, hold, and care for all beings. Never forgetting that you are one of those many beings. So we care for ourselves, we love ourselves, we show kindness to ourselves. And breathe. Smile to yourself, and when you're ready, open your eyes. So with that, I thank you, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you to Victor Morgado. Before we go any further, I'd like to ask for prayers from our pod family. Apparently, Victor was in a car accident just a couple of days ago and is in the hospital and had to have some surgery. So please send some love and good energy to Victor that he recovers fully and is back with us very soon. Also like to thank Sensei Dave. You're always awesome. We appreciate you so much. And thank you, big thank yous to our tech team, Philip, Lupo, and Diego, and Spence. They do such a great job for us and keep us moving every week. Go to PL Theatrical if you want to get this sort of work done, either virtual or live. Immediately following the morning service, we'll have a Zoom live deep dive. The link to that's in the event or on the screen below. And we just 30 minutes, keep it right to 30 minutes, and just discuss the message, check in, say hi, see each other, and hang out for 30 minutes, no more. Past services are available on the People of Diversity Facebook group, Facebook page, and also we have a People of Diversity YouTube channel where you can watch live on Sunday mornings at 10:30 if you'd prefer, or you can go in there and use their playlist function to view past services. There's a faith list that you can look at and choose from, or there's a topic list that you can choose from. It makes it real easy to find what you're looking for. You can get notifications about services by joining the Facebook page or group or the YouTube channel, and then you'll get a ding to remind you that we're coming on. And also on Sunday evening, we have a second broadcast at 5:45 on Facebook Live. So lots of ways to watch and be involved. So come on and join us.
So, couple of things I want to key in on. First of all, we just did at the beginning of this week our annual event with Interfaith United, United in Thanksgiving. It was held at the Eastminster Presbyterian Church in Indianapolis, and the pod was well represented. We had several of the speakers. We were part of the opening processional, and we were in the choir. We provided water at the reception. It was a wonderful event.
There was at least 300, 350 people there, maybe more. I haven't gotten the official count, but it was big.
And it was just well done. It was everything was kind of crazy this year, and we were a little worried that things would be chaotic, and it wasn't. It was beautiful. It was just really well done, and it was a great evening had by all. So that brings us to this week. This week we'll be doing a winter festival. We'll be back at the Unitarian Universalist Friendship Fellowship Hall in Rockledge. We'll be joined there by the Joy Band, Barbara McGillicuddy from the Titusville Unity, and Bob and Shannon Plummer, or Bob Simon and Shannon Plummer. They'll get a giggle out of that one. We'll be sharing some music. We'll also have in between sets some dear friends doing spoken word and just sharing their heart with original and with pieces that have touched their heart. So we're looking forward to that one. It should be a wonderful evening. We'll wrap it all up with some holiday cookies at the end and hang out and visit. Again, there's no charge for these Monday events, but this one in particular is a fundraiser for the people of diversity. So any and all contributions will be gratefully accepted. That's all I know, I think. No. Oh, no. We have, how do I say that word again?
Tuvalu.
Tuvalu. Our country this week is Tuvalu, an island in the South Pacific, halfway between Hawaii and Australia. Ooh, that'd be a neat old place. Yeah, nothing. A beautiful island, but is at sea level, and as sea levels rise, it's causing it to disappear right before our eyes. Yeah. Let's send prayers to the people of Tuvalu, and say these words together. May peace prevail in Tuvalu. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail in me.
Thank you. Next week, our speaker will be Muslim Naran Sykes, and her musical guest will be Neil McNaughton, and we are still on the topic of hope. So we saw Naran and her husband Abdurrahman at the United in Thanksgiving event, and she's very excited and about this and is getting her, she already has put her video in, so it's going to be good. You can help support the pod, again, by going to peopleofdiversity.org, peopleofdiversity.org, and we appreciate all the tithes and donations. We tithed to United in Thanksgiving again this year. We bought all the water and also gave them money to hold the service, because they have to rent the place, and there's a lot of expense that goes with it that people don't even realize. So security and a whole bunch of stuff. So the pod jumped right in and helped, and they greatly appreciated it. So last thing, let's do our healing circle. Bring to your mind's eye any person, place, thing, situation that needs healing. Let's put Victor Morgado in the center of our circle. Yeah. And let's listen to this last song and envision love and healing for all of these things in the center of our circle. And also the love's going around, so open up and get some on you. And we will see you next time. Thank you. Happy holidays.
One power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. one power indescribable, and just speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me.